the River Hoopers are headed to Kigali, and they won this game against APR in double overtime, 78-71. So I would have released this video earlier, but unfortunately there was a power outage in my house. But here we are. I'm just going to make sure to give you the best, and also there are a couple of videos that are coming on the way, so please be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified. Without further ado, let's just get into it. So this game, this River Hoopers versus APR game, was just spectacular. I really liked it. The people in attendance was 750, but the intensity was just insane, especially with the double overtime. In my mind, when I was watching this game live, I just thought about what the River Hoopers needed to do differently, especially when it came to the first period of overtime. But the APR team was holding serve pretty well, and they made sure and made it, and they made it difficult for the River Hoopers to win, but because the APR wanted to win this game anyway. So going into the second overtime, the River Hoopers smelled blood in the water, and I felt like APR were put in uncharted territory, and they were not able to manage and navigate that situation well, and that's the reason as to why they lost in overtime. Because the River Hoopers, they racked up 20 points in OT to APR's 13. And despite APR putting themselves in a very, very bad position, especially in the fourth quarter, only having an 8-point fourth quarter and allowing the River Hoopers to have a comeback and force OT, I just thought to myself, was it really urgent for the River Hoopers to go ahead and win this game? But looking at the actuality that it's an actual game and they have a team that is in front of them, who would want this win more? Because the River Hoopers, even with a win or a loss, they would still qualify. And APR's season right now is just on the brink of collapse, because if they are not able to finish with a good point differential, they can even be bumped to the 3 or 4 spot. Considering the fact that US Monastir are just on the comeback trail, starting off with a losing record of 0-3, but they're able to win back-to-back games, and today being the last day, we'll be able to know who's going to go to Kigali with the second seed, and the third spot is up for grabs for any team. It depends on who has the best point differential. And also, just to mention, Bangu is still waiting for the number 3. If the number 3 doesn't have a good point differential in the Sahara Conference and better off than Bangu Sporting Club, Bangu can slide in just the same way as the Cape Town Tigers slid in. So this game was good. Devin Eke had a monster performance. He had 18 points and 20 boards. And his monster performance was the reason as to why the River Hoopers were able to go ahead and win it. Also, Peter Osilemeka, he had 17 points. John Wilkins, 14. And Peter Osilemeka still also had a double-double of his own of 17 points and 18 boards. Kevin Amayo, he had 6 rebounds. Will Perry was not there in scoring that much, but still you could see he facilitated the ball with 6 assists. Then looking at the points from the APR team, John Jackie Shebozwa, he actually has been very quiet in this conference and this team and this setup. He has been very quiet. He's not the John Jackie Shebozwa we saw when he played with REG. He's just changed. I don't know what really happened, but he led the game in scoring with 16 points. He was followed by Dario Hunt, who had 15. And Dario Hunt also had a double-double, 15 points and 14 boards. And Dario Hunt also, despite not being able to lead, being number 1 in scoring, he led in both rebounds and assists. And it was a very good game. Shooting-wise, both teams really struggled shooting the from the 3. And I've seen this as a trend. Even when I'm looking at the games and looking at the stat sheet, you can see teams really struggle shooting the 3 ball consistently. And River Hoopers were horrendous, shooting an abysmal 20% from downtown. On 45 attempts, they only sunk in 9. And the APR team were not even better off because they shot 35%. Not even 35. They shot 30. They had 35 attempts, only sunk in 10, and had a measly 28%. And it was not a good look. And also their inability to draw fouls and get to the line was a problem because they only went to the line 10 times APR as compared to River Hoopers 28. So the River Hoopers were drawing fouls as and the APR team were committing fouls, which I must say helped them. It's like APR just gave the River Hoopers the game, and the River Hoopers didn't even have to win the game because they're already on the top seeded team. But still, looking at the way the game unfolded, APR have themselves to blame, and APR just got brutally out rebounded. Despite leading in assists with 23 assists and 14 steals, the River Hoopers out rebounded APR 65 rebounds to 49. So that start was just insane. And also River Hoopers coupling it in with 6 blocks. I mean, there were a couple of things that I was just looking at in this game, and I must say, the River Hoopers, they're just on that trajectory. We had 5 players playing north of 40 plus minutes. Will Perry played 40 minutes. He was just maxed out in this game. This man did not even rest one bit. He had 11 points in there. He didn't show that much in scoring, but in the assists, he had 6 assists. He led the team in assists with only 6, but struggling with 6 turnovers, I mean, Will Perry, 6 assists and struggled with 6 turnovers there. Kevin Amayo, for 45 minutes, played 13. It was 4 of 19. He didn't do much in scoring, and it was just it for them. But Peter Osilemeka and David Eke are the ones that really pushed this team. Bush Omokota, I've been monitoring this guy. This game, he didn't play a lick of basketball. He was a DNP. He didn't play anything. He was just there 0 minutes. And I've been monitoring him a lot. Adonis Filer, this game he did not show up at all. Obadiah Noel, he played only 5 minutes. And he was that person that the APR team have been relying on a lot in the previous games. But in this one, this man was just inactive. And Adonis Filer, 14 minutes played, only 5 points, 2 of 6 shooting, 0 productivity coming from his side. But looking at the APR team, right now they've just dug themselves in a very worse hole because right now they have a tied record between them, is Downes, and the US Monastir team. The only team that is just safe and they've just put themselves in a very good position are the River Hoopers because of how they've won games. There are games that they've won convincingly, and they're not going to be put down by the point differential. So the number 2, number 3, and number 4 spot is just up for grabs. So any team that has a very good point differential, they're going to go in and they're just going to go in easily and just qualify either in the number 2 spot. Number 3, they're going to compete for it when it comes to point differentials between Bangui and the team that's going to be number 3. Number 4 is going to go home. So the number 2 and number 3, I mean, it's just too competitive right now. It will be dependent on how the teams perform today. And if the teams don't perform well, I mean, the APR, is Downes, and US Monastir, if they don't perform well, unfortunately, 2 teams have to go home. So, yeah, it is what it is. That's how BAL is. So, even when it came to the other statistics, when it came to just the points from turnovers, you can see River Hoopers dominate in that stat. They dominated in second chance points, fast break points. The River Hoopers had 17 second chance points and 13 fast break points. But their bench productivity was abysmal. They only have 5 bench points. And the concerning thing with the River Hoopers, this game they committed 23 turnovers. So this is very concerning. Having this much turnovers and still winning the game, I know a lot of people are just going to look at this win and just say, the team already won. So they already qualified. But there are things that they're going to sweep under the rug just because they have not won the ball game. So they need to make sure to look back at film and improve that as they prepare for the playoffs. Because the playoffs are just a few weeks away. And yeah, I mean, the APR team are just in a bad spot right now. I mean, if they don't play well, there's a high likelihood that they might get out like that. They can just get outed like that. The team that is on the comeback trail is the USM team, and looking at the way they have rallied their troops behind them, so they have been consistent in games, the past few games that they've played, there's a high likelihood that they can just swoop in and even grab the number 3 spot, or even number 2 spot if they blow out a team and have a high point differential. So we'll get to that. But looking at the APR team, they won their first game against USM. They won their third game against AS Downers, but they lost the River Hoopers twice and lost to USM as USM avenged that loss. It's just been a coming out party for this team. So hopefully they're able to just switch up a bit and be able to do a few things differently. But I mean, it's going to be quite interesting today evening as we see the final game in the final minutes, and we'll see how the tables will turn for the team. So if you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comments. Make sure to follow me on my Facebook group. Right now the community is growing very fast. We are at 2,000, so help me get it to 10,000. And also in the channel, like, share, subscribe, and also comment what you think in the comment section down below on the BL. What you think about the BL? What you think about the River Hoopers? They're going to be headed to Kigali, and I'll be very much waiting to see their performance there. I know the playoffs are just a different ball game because that's where all the teams from different conferences collide. So yeah, man. I'm out. Peace out.